Hi, I'm Mandy.
Hi, I'm Calvin.
Hi, I'm Jenna.
Hi, I'm Caitlin.
Hi, I'm Cody.
Hi, Charles Kennedy, Conservative Party and a member for Bathgate.
What are your policies as a councillor?
My policy is to try and do as much for the community as possible. So it's one of the things people think is that all politics are the same. So there's national politics in Westminster, there's Scottish national politics at Holyrood, and there's local council policies, which is what we sit on as council. The councillors in council tend to sit and look after what's in the community. So we're councillors for Bathgate, Willie and Harry and John and I. And what we try and do is make everything that we can do to make the community better for you guys, for your mums and dads, for your grannies, aunts, all your family. So we're here to try and make Bathgate a better place for everybody, irrespective of what party we're in. So you don't find the big political statements like Brexit everybody's talking about. You know, we'll not be talking about Brexit in Bathgate because it doesn't affect Bathgate except at national level. What we're trying to do is get your grass cut for you, get your houses better, get your standard of living better. So that's what we're here to do, is try and look after everybody in Bathgate.
What are your plans for the future?
Personally, or
As like a councillor?
Depends whether I get elected or not. Again, we've got 2.5 years left to go because this is us almost halfway through our time as a term. You get 5 years as a councillor. So we're in November, that'll be us exactly halfway through it. So for the next half year, it's ideally we'd get more money, and therefore we could give more money out to the people in Bathgate for their facilities and play parks and cutting the grass, looking after the roads, doing the potholes, making sure everybody's got a home would be ideal, because there's a lot of people out there who don't have homes, or they're staying with people because they can't get a home, or people have to use food banks because they can't get enough money to actually live. So if we could ever do away with that, all of that, that'd be ideal. So that would be an ideal situation I could get to.
And what do you enjoy about your job?
Probably working with all the guys I work with and meeting new people like yourselves, for instance. It's great to come along and meet new people who are interested in politics and why we do it, because it's not the most interesting job sometimes in the world, as Calvin just said, that it can be boring. It is boring at times because you sit in committees which are sit and listen to people's problems and find out what you can do about it. And a lot of the time it's not good, is because you know you can't do anything for them, we just don't have enough money to do it. So I don't like that side of it. What I do like about it is when we actually have something successful to do. We get somebody's house repaired, or their heating system working, or we take them away out of the poverty that they're in, or the problems they've got, we can solve them for them. It doesn't happen often enough. Wish we could do a lot more of that, but that's when it's a really good thing. You actually get. We were at an old lady's 100th birthday party a few weeks ago, Harry and I, and that was a fantastic chance to go and see somebody with her family, grandchildren, great grandchildren, great nephews and great nieces, came from Australia and all around, and to go and sit and have coffee and tea and cake with her at 100 years old was fascinating. So there's some great moments as well, but there's some boring moments in it as well.
What do you think of the Buckle Dropping Centre?
Bogle Drop Centre,
Yeah.
one of the best things that's happened to Bathgate at all, without a doubt. People that work here, the people that volunteer here, do a fantastic job, and it's something that a lot of the rest of Bathgate and a lot of the rest of West Lothian could model on. It took a lot of work to get it off the ground, to get it running. Since then, the volunteers, unfortunately, we lost one of the really great volunteers last year, but she'll be sorely missed. There's a lot of other ones here who will drive it forward. So it provides a great facility for us to have nights like this, sitting down with a councillor and have a chat, and I think it's a great thing.
What improvements do you think have been made over the time you've been a councillor?
In the drop-in centre, or generally in Bathgate?
Just in Bathgate.
In Bathgate, not a lot. We've got new play parks in. Nothing like we'd like to do, because we've had so many cutbacks in finance that you can't do it. We're trying to make sure the Highland Games is improved, because the numbers are dropping off at that, so we're trying to improve that. We're trying to make more opportunity for people to come in and have shops in Bathgate, a variety of shops. So one of the great things that's in Bathgate High Street, although you think there's a lot of shops shut, but it's one of the top high streets in Scotland, as in the number of people. Places that actually got traders going in them. Yeah. So it's good that we're able to keep the level of opportunity for shops in the town up and going, so that's a very positive thing.
Can you think of any services that the Buckle Dropping Centre could provide that they don't already have?
Well, it depends what people want, and what you guys can come up with ideas. I mean, recently we talked about possibly getting a shed out there, like they have an Armadale for a manned shed and things like that in place, which would be quite a great facility. It's where we can put it and how we can get it attached to the drop-in centre, but that's for the sort of over 65s, like I'm just about to turn and become 65. It's for the elderly or more older people who gives them an interest in life, apart from the excitement of bringing up their grandchildren and children. The older people like something else that they've been used to doing in their life, maybe being joiners or brickies or whatever during their life, and to give them a shed where they could keep on some of these crafts, and that would be a fantastic facility, and that's been talked about for here. Whether we ever get round to getting it done or not is a different thing, but that'd be my first priority, is to try and get the mine shed up and running.
What's your favourite thing about Bog Hall?
Bog Hall, the people, I think, more than anything else. It's a fantastic community. If you know what community spirit is, there's a lot of places in Bathgate and in West Lothian in general, but in Bathgate you can see differences between Bog Hall and Westerinch. Westerinch is a very new community, and the people don't all help each other like they do in Bog Hall. So the best thing about Bog Hall for me is the absolute community spirit, and that's driven by this place. The drop-in centre creates that atmosphere and encourages people to work with each other and help each other out. So I think the community spirit in Bog Hall is the outstanding feature of it all.
What is your favourite thing about being a councillor?
One of them is doing this, talking to people, because without talking to people you don't understand what their problems are, and therefore I could be doing something that I think is a great idea, but it's actually not helping all the people that need it. So going around constituents, having surgeries like I have after this, where the members of the community can come and drop in and have explain their problems and what they need done to me, that's the most enjoyable part of it, is to actually meet people and find out what we're doing that's right, which is not very much as everybody tells us, but also to find out particularly what we're doing wrong and if we can improve that.
What made you become a councillor?
Well, I spent 44 years working in the construction industry, building houses and factories and all the rest of it. So I was getting to the end of my working career, and I've always been interested in politics. I've always had a thought about what I would like to happen in the world, and it wasn't happening for me. So I thought, I'll go and try and change the world. Never do that, because it's, you're only a small fry in a councillor, but you can still help the people that are around about you, and that's what makes me interested in becoming a councillor, was I could give something back into the community that looked after me as I grew up.
How do you, what would you tell your younger self now? Like,
probably trying to get in politics a lot earlier, Caitlin. When you get in at my age, which was 63, 62, when I first got in, I started campaigning and working for other people when I was in the early 50s, but it was only late 50s I decided to actually go and do it myself, because I had a career, and therefore I wasn't willing to give my career up to go and become a councillor, because it's not a hugely well paid job, and you get drawn into that position of you get stuck in a career that I was quite severe, and therefore I suddenly realised when I was about 40 I didn't know anything else, so I had to stick to that to the end of my working days. So try and get into the thing that you actually really enjoy and like earlier in life. Take the risk that you need to actually have a career that you... I thought when I started my career it was quite severe when I was 18. I thought it was great for me, and for probably 25 years it was fantastic. But after 25 years doing the same thing and doing nothing else, you become very insular in your thoughts. You only know about one thing at any great level. So a bit of diversity younger in life I would think I would do, definitely.
what words of wisdom would you give people who are interested in volunteering but they're too scared, or they're just not, they don't know if it's right for them?
Well, sadly, maybe, volunteering is one of the most important things that anybody can do nowadays. I wish we didn't need volunteers. I wish there was plenty of services out to provide everything that everybody needs, but just the satisfaction you can get of what you're actually able to give back to your community. I enjoy giving back to community as a councillor. Volunteers can't maybe do that element of it, but they can give something back to their community. The pleasure that they'll get from seeing the success that they bring to other children or whoever they're dealing with, whatever level they're at of volunteering, whether it be elderly, looking after the elderly particularly. It's a hard job sometimes, because sometimes you lose the elderly and you're like, so it's a hard job to be a volunteer at that level, but the joy that you bring to people at various stages of life by the actions you give, I think gives a volunteer a lot of satisfaction. There's also at your stage in life, you get a lot of experience as being a volunteer, which can benefit you in your careers. When you write your CV, as you go looking for jobs and you write, well, I was a volunteer and I did this on your CV, your guys who are looking to employ you will have a lot of good consideration for you as somebody who's actually given of their time to be sort of volunteers and provided a benefit to the community.
What do you think of your new boss?
It depends which one you're talking about.
Boris
I've got two. I've got Boris Johnson in Westminster, and I've got Jackson Carlow now in Edinburgh. How was I thinking Boris? I'll tell you about Jackson first, then I'm going to Boris. Jackson's a guy who's about my age as well, and has been a very active member in the community through in Glasgow he comes from, and is a humorous guy, very funny, but very serious as well, takes his job very seriously, and is, although there's a lot of humour about him, there's a huge serious side to him, and you can see that serious side when you're out in particular meetings with him, and you see the humorous side at other times. Why I compare him to Boris is all you see Boris is this funny man, the buffoon almost as people call him. You don't actually see the guy who is behind that, and that's just that's a facade he puts up. He's done it since he was at university, I understand. He was in a debate at university, one of his first debates at university, and he came out speaking for the wrong side as if it was a mistake. He just didn't believe what he was asked to speak on. He believed in it, so he actually spoke for the opposition. And then, oh, was I not meant to do that? Sorry, I've made a mistake, as if he was an idiot. And he's anything but an idiot. He's a very, very clever man. He doesn't do things without a lot of consideration to them. The buffoonery of him, the funny side of him, kind of makes him, there's no grey with him, if you understand what he's either black or white. People hate him or love him, and it's only us who actually get to know him a bit closer who see that there's actually a middle ground with him as well. He's not just this guy at the extreme side of one party. He's got a very definitive viewpoint in life, and he follows that, and he believes in what he's doing. And irrespective of whether you believe in that or not, you should respect somebody who stays with their principles, and his principles have always been to leave the European Union, which wasn't my principles. I would vote to stay in the European Union and did vote to stay. However, the country voted to leave, so his principle was if the country votes to leave, he's got to do that. That's his job to do it. So it's very hard in that respect because he's got that mindset that he must do what he's been told to do by the people of the country. And you don't see a lot of negotiating with him, but in the background there's a lot of negotiating, a lot of understanding them. So a very difficult guy to sum up. But the difference between him and Jackson is you can see the difference in Jackson. You only see one side of Boris.
Do you think we can change anything in the building, and if so, how can we do it?
Well, I was speaking to some of the guys about 6 months, 8 months ago in the kitchen. There's a lot of stuff in the kitchen now that is pretty well run down and needing revamped and replaced, and some of the stuff it's not any use to anymore, it just fills up space. And there's a lot of that area that could be redesigned if we can raise money for it. The high level windows, I think, are a real problem because you can't open or shut them or clean them or anything because they're a right nightmare. And when the bulbs need changed or the windows need changed or adjusted, it's a difficulty for the volunteers who are in here try to work with them. So some of the design of the building was not good, and one of the thoughts when we were talking about the main shed was if we could actually bring it inside and put a mezzanine floor in up there, which is a middle floor, and actually utilise all that space that's up in the roof space, which is just dead space at the moment, so we might be able to do something in there that would give more facilities without changing the size of the building.
Thank you very much.
And very welcome to take photos if you want to, so don't let him tell you not to.